Hi, hello, how are you? I hope you're fine. Welcome to this bootcamp called Kanban boards and agile methodologies for rapid response scenarios. This is a practical bootcamp in which I'm going to try to tell you the knowledge that I learned and the experiences, and I will try to share the experiences that I had recently in the scenario that we define in the strategy models. That we define that supply chain is becoming much more agile, and solutions it's much more customized, and solutions has to be much faster. So with this scenario, we need to continue working with the standardization. We need to continue working with lean management, but in some specific cases, we need to do some variations, and we need to look for the strategic variability. What does it mean? Okay, let's see how I am able to organize myself in order to make the customer willing to pay for this customization. Or maybe if I'm not doing this, I'm out of the market. So for this rapid response and customization and such a variable demand, we need sometimes to apply different methodologies than not a standardization one. So in this bootcamp, we are going to try to go a bit more in deep about flexibilization, but we are going to do it through two units which are based on theory, and two units which are much more based in a tool, in a Kanban board tool. Kanban board tool, which is usually much more used in projects, but now in fact we are talking about processes that are becoming a project. When we deliver an e-commerce delivery, it is becoming a project, not a process, because it's one special delivery, just one movement for this delivery. When we're producing something customized, this is a project. It's a project inside a production process. When we make a special delivery, it's a project inside a standardized process. So this is why we need to combine some project methodologies with some process methodologies. So this is why we need to combine flexibilization with the standardization. So in these units, as you can see in the screen, we are going to review a bit on Unit 1 Agile methodology. We are going to review Agile pillars, and we are going to review the time response spiral, which, as I mentioned before, this is something that we find much more common than we expect in our companies. Is when our cycle time is higher than the expectation from our customer, and we start to enter in a loop of chaos because our cycle time does not fit with the frozen time. And we are going to learn the basic of the rapid response management. This rapid response management was born some years ago under a methodology called quick response manufacturing. So I'm going to introduce in Unit 1 Agile methodology, rapid response management inside quick response manufacturing theory, and also time response spiral. We are going to remind a bit time response spiral. In Unit 2, as you can see here, we are going to talk about the contradictions of time management, why some companies are still taking wrong decisions about time management, thinking about a standardized supply chain. And sometimes we need to focus time in another way. We need to focus time as a customer view, not as a process view. So we're going to talk about contradictions in time management, and we are going to introduce system dynamics. System dynamics based on queues theory, in which we are talking about which are the main rules in supply chain that we need to follow about system dynamics. System dynamics that are able to combine some random inputs that we cannot control in the best organized output, as possible. We will see that we need to start talking about capacity. We need to finish focusing in stock decisions. We need to start just focusing in capacity decision. And this is the main issue of the system dynamics. Third unit, we are going to enter then to the Kanban boards. Kanban board is the basic tool from projects. This is a tool that I'm using nowadays a lot in my projects, in my consultancy company, and I have never achieved less than 20% of cycle time reduction. This is a tool that works very well, and we are going to understand why Kanban boards works so well in order to manage capacity cells, in order to manage a process customized as taking capacity decisions. So we are going to learn about the sequence of processes, we're going to learn how to do the columns, we're going to learn how the basic theory of the Kanban boards, and we are going to talk a bit about Scrum also, because Scrum and Kanban as agile tools are very well combined together. Finally, in last unit, I'm going to show you as a consultant the 10 steps that I take when I want to implement a Kanban board, an agile methodology, a rapid response methodology in a warehouse, in a factory, in an office, by ourselves. I'm going to show you some examples. I'm going to show you the 10 steps that we need to do it. And we are going to do it together with 4 webinars, okay? The first 4 webinars, there is not going to be activities, but I propose you to do an extra activity afterwards. So there is a 5th webinar, which is not mandatory, okay? So if you feel comfortable, if you feel confident, I ask you to think about your company, to think about your scenario with the 10 steps that we already mentioned in webinar 4, and to prepare your Kanban board. And if you are shy, please send me by email and I will give you my feedback by email. But if you are brave enough, I invite you to manage in the 5th webinar. So let's put together and let's discuss together this Kanban board. And let's see if it's working or if it is not working. So there are some links also with some videos. There are more documentation in the bootcamp that you can check. Of course, you can contact me by email if you have any doubt. And in the videos, there are videos in Spanish which are properly translated, and well, you will see translated properly. Okay, also explaining all the Kanban boards theory with some examples, with how it manages the 4 improvement levels, how manage urgencies, and how to make a rapid response scenario working well without chaos. I really hope this bootcamp is going to be helpful for you. Maybe not for the position you are now, maybe for the position that you will be in future, or maybe with some other scenarios that we are going to face in future. So see you on webinars. Take care. Bye.